Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all Vaishnavas present here. Welcome all to today's morning Japa session and short Srimad Bhagavatam class on behalf of my leaders. So I thank all the Japa leads who have come and nicely done the service. So now let us start this short Srimad Bhagavatam class with a short kirtan. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदनंदना ब्रज जन रंजना यमुनतीरवनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा हरि हरि बोल जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 16, Text 11th of Srimad Bhagavatam. वलङ्कृतं श्यामतुरङ्गयोजितं रथं मृगेन्द्रध्वजम् आश्रितः पुरात् वृतो रथाश्वद्वीपपत्तियुक्ताय स्वसेनया दिग्विजयाय निर्गतः. So let us read the word to word meaning. So Alankritam, very well decorated. Shyama, black. Turanga, horses. Yojitam, tackled. Ratham, chariot. Mriga Indra, that is lion. Dvajam, flagged. Ashritaha, under the protection. Purat, from the capital. Vritaha, surrounded by. Rathaha, charioteers. Ashva, cavalry. Dvipapatti, elephants. Yuktaya, thus being equipped. Svasenaya, along with infantry. Digvijayaya, for the purpose of conquering, Nirgataha, went out. So translation goes like this. Maharaja Parikshit sat on the chariot drawn by black horses. His flag was marked with the sign of a lion. Being so decorated and surrounded by charioteers, cavalry, elephants, and infantry soldiers, he left the capital to conquer in all the directions. So let us read the purport. Maharaj Parikshit is distinguished from his grandfather Arjuna for black horses pulled his chariot instead of white horses. He marked the flag with the mark of a lion, and his grandfather marked his with the mark of Hanumanji. A royal procession like that of Maharaj Parikshit, surrounded by well-decorated chariots, cavalry, elephants, infantry, and band, not only is pleasing to eyes, but also is a sign of civilization that is aesthetic even on the fighting front. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayati girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramanandamadanam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Hare Krishna. So I seek all the Vaishnavas' blessings over here so that whatever I speak be in the line of Guru Parampara according to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So let us start it. So before that, about Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is such a wonderful text written by Vyasadeva. that it is meant for Paramahamsa Vaishnavas. It is meant for Paramahamsa Vaishnavas. But we also see that it is completely capable of converting a low class uh, people into Parama Vaishnavas, Paramahamsas. So that kind of text is Srimad Bhagavatam. It is completely non-different from Krishna, so it has the potency exactly like Krishna. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is like ingredients. Amarendra Prabhuji says it is like ingredient. So for a chef, if you give some 10 ingredients, he can make some nice dish. If an unexperienced chef, if we give it, he can make according to his knowledge, limited knowledge. But to a very experienced chef, if we give the same 10 ingredients, then he can make the wonderful, most wonderful dish we would never have had. So like that, when this Srimad Bhagavatam is being spoken about by great Parama Vaishnavas, what happens is they bring out the real potency of Srimad Bhagavatam, which can actually satisfy the living being. So, with our limited knowledge, when we try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, we cannot get its full potential. But when we try to understand through the purports of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's lectures or any other great Vaishnavas being tasted the Bhagavatam first, then we have the remnants, then we get the full nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. So let us start this Srimad Bhagavatam class. So yes, Srila Prabhupada has written, let us read the translation again. Maharaj Parikshit sat on the chariot drawn by black horses. His flag was marked with the sign of a lion. Being so decorated and surrounded by charioteers, cavalry, elephants, and infantry soldiers, he left the capital to conquer in all the directions. So here we are seeing that Maharaj Parikshit heard about the Kali being entered in his kingdom and he's not so satisfied. He wanted to now give punishment or to eradicate that particular person. So here Maharaj Parikshit was actually very much eager to get the opportunity to fight. We have learned in the previous classes. Because he is a true Kshatriya, hence he wants to fight. He likes the opportunity when he gets to fight. So, like that, here Maharaj Parikshit is eager to go on. He is having his army, cavalry, everything. He's having his blackish horses. So, here Shama means not completely black, Srila Prabhupada says. It is like blackish. So, blackish horses he is having. And here Prabhupada is comparing with Arjuna, his grandfather, and Maharaj Parikshit. Arjuna was having white horses. So here Maharaj Parikshit is having blackish horses. And Arjuna had Hanumanji on his flag. And here Parikshit Maharaj is having Nrahari, right? That is Narsimha. So this is not just a lion here. It is Narsimhadev himself being on his flag. So, like that, when this procession is moving, the people will understand that, oh, such and such king is coming. When they see Narsimha Dev on flag of Maharaj Parikshit, people would understand that, oh, he is Parikshit Maharaj. Like that. Arjuna kept Hanumanji in his flag because Hanumanji helped Sri Rama to get Sita back, right? Mother Sita back. Because Hanumanji was so strong, he was not using any weapons. So, like that, he was strong. So, here, Arjuna considered Hanumanji as his own teacher, like that. So, we also have to note the point that a devotee is not just chanting and keeping quiet, but chanting is the main objective. An experienced Vaishnava always chants. That is ideal, but that does not mean that a devotee is incapable of doing other things. When time comes, when Krishna requires, devotee can also do so many things which are extraordinary. Like Hanumanji, he jumped to Lanka. He, with stones, he actually did this war and succeeded in this war. Like that, here also Maharaj Parikshit is not lazy, according to Srila Prabhupada, and also all the Vaishnavacharyas, that Maharaj Parikshit is not lazy. He just does not sit in his kingdom and enjoy the kingdom which is given by his forefathers. He wants to prove himself that his forefathers had given the responsibility of the kingdom to Maharaj Parikshit, who is actually well suited for this post. He's actually capable. He wants to prove that. So that should be a real Kshatriya, not like the present administrators. Like present administrators, they do not go in front line, right? In war, they do not do that. They leave it to soldiers. But previously, the administrators were so chivalrous, so powerful that they were happy to actually go into war. They were not at all fearful of dying like that. In this context, that devotee can do anything when Krishna wants. We can also see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his youth. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was just 16 years old. We can see the Supreme Personality himself does so many wonderful things. Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was 16 years old, that time a Pandita, who is Digvijaya Pandita, that means he had conquered, he has won over all the parts in all directions of India. He came to Nadia at that time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. So at that time, his name was Nimai Pandita. So because his mother had kept that name because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born under Neem tree. So Nimai Pandita, he was now the Digvijaya Pandit came to Nadia to see if anybody can defeat him. At that time, what happened is all the other Panditas in that Nadia Grama, they thought, let us first leave this Nimai to argue with that Pandit, and if that Pandit defeats Nimai, then what happens is we'll say, oh, he's just a small boy. Now you argue with us. Like that, we can say. Like that, they thought, the other Pandits. But when they left Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandita, to argue with Digvijay Pandit, he actually defeated that Pandit. So, like this, Supreme Personality of Godhead is displaying that he is completely able. So no, then what happened is they were just going together near the Yamuna, near the Ganga's bank, the Digvijay Pandit and Nimai Pandit. And at that time, Nimai Pandit asked Digvijay Pandit to compose some verses on Mother Ganga. So that Pandit actually did it in seconds. He started reciting one after another, one after another. Some 100 verses he did. He made up, okay, 100 verses on that spot itself. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then picked out a particular 64th verse, and he said that because we are very insignificant living beings, we are unable to understand your 64th verse. Can you please explain on that? Look how much humility Nimai Pandit is showing. That can you please explain to me that? Then Digvijay Pandit became astonished. I have composed 100 verses, and this boy is speaking only 64th verse. Why is it so? Then he actually recited that verse. Then Nimai Pandit shown there were so many literary inaccurate things. Literally, it was not correct, that poem, that particular verse. So this thing astonished Digvijay Pandit, that I composed these many verses in flow, and this particular boy is able to mark my mistake. Then he actually subdued. So he became very much happy about Nimai Pandit, and he himself gave himself as a disciple of Nimai Pandit. So Srila Prabhupada mentions one thing here, that having a very intelligent enemy is better than having a foolish friend. Because with an intelligent enemy, so an intelligent enemy, even if he is defeated, that enemy is defeated, he actually agrees and he comes and he becomes a disciple of the other person. But a foolish, what happens is he just keeps arguing. There is no end point. There is no common conclusion. So it keeps on arguing, keeps on continuing, and nothing comes to a settled position. That's what happens now, right? With preachers, some people we encounter and they keep on arguing, but it is a waste of time to argue with such kind of fools. We need to understand they're fools and just leave it. Not too much arguing. Just give them prasadam, pray for them, and that's easy. Like that. So here we wanted to understand that just like the Supreme Lord, devotee is also not less in any other aspect. He's completely, able to do anything what Krishna wants. But however, his interest remains in glorifying the Lord and being subordinate, following the instructions of the Lord. That's what. So, uh, and then what we have is sometimes a devotee comes for a special purpose. That's what, on the order of Krishna. So here we all are discussing about Maharaj Parikshit. He is also doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. He is going on a war for the pleasure of Krishna. He doesn't have his own decision. So a devotee also does not have his own decision. He does according to Krishna and he does according to Guru. We cannot surpass Guru and say, no, I'll follow Krishna, I'll not follow Guru. No, when we try to follow Guru's instructions, that naturally pleases Krishna because he's our immediate person who is taking care of us. So, just like a superintendent, if he is satisfied, then the higher officer is also satisfied. The higher officer does not have to personally look into the person, so he just has to hear the opinion from the superintendent. Like that, Krishna also hears hears the opinion of Guru. So when one pleases the Guru, automatically he pleases the Krishna. He pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Krishna. Now here what is happening is Parikshit Maharaj is going on, right? He is moving on to try to follow the instructions of Supreme Lord. Like that, some devotees also come to this material world with a special purpose. Like our Srila Prabhupada, he came to deliver all these fallen souls, all of us. So, like that, sometimes Krishna also comes for a special purpose, which is he wants to fight with his devotees. So it doesn't happen in spiritual world that Krishna can fight with his devotees because all his devotees are completely obedient and they do not want to fight with Krishna. So what happens is the Supreme Lord himself makes some arrangements so that his pure devotees come to this material world and here they exchange this kind of rasa. So the same thing applies for the devotee also. Devotee also comes to serve the Supreme Lord in that rasa. We see the classic example of our dear Jaya and Vijaya, who came as Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, all these demons, great demons. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that uh, to be killed by Krishna is also not an ordinary thing because Krishna is absolute. His killing and his giving benedictions are both same. So being killed by Krishna is not an ordinary thing. And being completely opposite to Krishna is also not an ordinary thing, such that Krishna only should come to kill him. So, so here, actually, Jaya and Vijaya happen to be offenders towards the four Kumaras when in Vaikuntha. They were not allowed to see the Supreme Lord. Though, so the Kumaras, they thought you're envious being in spiritual world, so go to material world. They cursed them. Then Supreme Personality of Godhead himself came to resolve this issue because they were very dear devotees of Supreme Lord. Then he asked, I cannot take away the curse, but you can be my friend. I mean, you can be my great devotee and be away from me for 7 janmas. Or you can be my greatest enemies and come back within 3 janmas. So look at the devotee's mood. He doesn't want to be away from the Supreme Lord. So at the cost of being an enemy of the Supreme Lord, they agree to come back within 3 years. So like that, a devotee is, look, we cannot understand a devotee's, actions like this, right? Because a devotee means he always wants to serve the Supreme Lord. Hmm? And be obedient to the Supreme Lord, right? But here, what is happening is, Jaya and Vijaya, they are agreeing to be enemies of the Supreme Lord to come back to him very soon. But in a broad sense, they are actually following the instructions of Supreme Lord. They have understood that Krishna wants this. Krishna likes to fight with us. So why not? Let us become enemies of the Supreme Lord. Like that. So a devotee's mood is very special. And we see even in the case of Bhishma Pitamaha, right? He is also having very nice rasa of fighting with Krishna. He wants to be enemy of Krishna because Krishna wants to get that rasa from Bhishma Dev. Hmm? Who else can actually stand like this, seeing Krishna coming to kill them? Right? So that is a devotee. A devotee does anything which is required by Krishna, not just simply he is only chanting, but chanting is the best service of Krishna. Hmm? When time comes, a devotee is able to do everything like that. So here we have also seen that by pleasing the Guru only we can please Krishna. In our case, it is Guru Maharaj's instructions we have to follow very clearly. Hence, Guru Maharaj is actually our dear Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He is giving so many opportunities to be connected with him. He had kept some committee of devotees who can take care of the daily messages which are sent by his disciples. He makes sure that almost all of the messages he reads and replies to the devotees, trying to solve their problems. So yeah, mine also. So I had also sent a message to Guru Maharaj about my read about my the exams thing. So Guru Maharaj had blessed by saying that we have to do this reading also has a service of Guru and Krishna, because if we read nicely, then we can connect to more people very effectively. Like Jiva Goswami, he went to university first. Hmm. And then he came back to his guru to serve nicely, more effectively. Then that, like that, if we do the reading our academic part as a service for Krishna and Guru, then it should not be a hindrance for our spiritual life. And he blesses all of us by saying that you can advance. uh, you have my blessings to advance in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So my blessings are always with you to advance in Krishna consciousness. Like that, when we try to follow the instructions of Guru, for that we need to understand what are the instructions of Guru. There are basic instructions which are following the four regulative principles, chanting the 16 rounds, minimum 16 rounds daily, and attending Mangalarti, and also being associated with devotees as much as possible. Hmm? All these things are general instructions, and regarding our own personal life, if we have some problems, so we have to reach out to Guru or senior disciples who are connected to Guru. Like that, being in Krishna consciousness becomes easy when we follow the instructions of senior Vaishnavas and Guru. So all these things I could gather from this verse. So at last, Srila Prabhupada says to all the preachers that go from city to city, go from town to town. Exactly, if I have to read, yeah, here is Srila Prabhupada's statements that uh, so Swasenaya Digvijaya Nirgataha. Nirgataha means went out of home, not simply enjoying comfortably at home. About Parikshit Maharaj. So go from country to country, from village to village, town to town, and make Digvijaya. Here is our philosophy. There is God. We can prove there is God. Who are you to deny God? Come on. That is Digvijaya. Thank you very much. This is Srila Prabhupada's exact statements. So, yeah, Srila Prabhupada is instructing us to go from town to town, city to city, and preach about God, about Krishna, and make them accept the God philosophy. So, Hare Krishna. I would like to thank all the senior devotees for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share Srimad Bhagavatam. It's very nice meditative day for me. Thinking about Srimad Bhagavatam whole night and whole day, what to say. So of course it is the blessings of all you Vaishnavas that I can speak something about Srimad Bhagavatam and blessings of my Guru Maharaj. So I would like to thank all the Vaishnavas. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Will you be around for some time? You have no class, some questions or some comments?
I can be Prabhuji for some.
Yes. Hare Krishna. So the devotees who heard in the last few minutes, 30 odd minutes, 20, 30 minutes, if you have any comments, any points to add to this verse, you can.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Very nicely you explained this verse, Mataji. In spite of being just 2-3 lines also, the explanation what you given was really wonderful. The catchy point is that devotees can do extraordinary if Lord wishes, Mataji. Devotees are always wanting to serve the Lord. And that is the mood of the devotees. That was really catchy point, Mataji, and takeaway point. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I've just repeated what Srila Prabhupada has said, Mataji. So that is having nectar. Hence, we all can understand some nice points. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Vijayata Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji, very simple way you have explained, and one important point is that Srimad Bhagavatam is an ingredient, and that can be understood by the experts, in the sense the senior Vaishnavas. So it's very auspicious and very important to listen Srimad Bhagavatam from the experienced bona fide Vaishnavas. Very nice point, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Mataji. Mataji, my takeaway point is like you clearly explained that Yare Deko, Tare Kaho, Krishna Upadesh. So it was so nice to accept, Mataji. Whenever, like most of the time, what we do is in the comfort zone online classes. So we'll be in the comfort by preaching. So if we wanted to go out of the reach out the Krishna conscious to everyone, we should go out of the comfort zone. So it was really nice, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Srila Prabhupada was having so much potency that he would give it to his disciples. His disciples would go to countries which are not even thinkable of going, like that they were going to preach. So many, like Bangladesh, our Guru Maharaj went like that. So many nice devotees, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much for that point, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. And I like to add a rather comment, picking up from whatever you had said. You had mentioned Parikshit Maharaj was not lazy, and you said that he was ready to prove the lineage, prove that he is worthy of that lineage and things like that. So I wanted to share something similar. We are all children of Srila Prabhupada. Our father is our Gurudev. So we also need to somewhere, I'm not using the word prove, we need to kind of imbibe that sacrifices and what they did. And we also should not be lazy, and we should go out and, do these services. That way I had heard in one of the lecture that we must do service, and we must get used to the inconveniences of the service, something like that, Mataji, in one of the Chaitanya Charitamrita lectures. So I was somewhere inspired. And when you said we must follow Shastra itself means following all the acharyas who are living the life of the Shastras, following all the gurus, following all the Guru Parampara is our basic duty. These are the 2 points I felt I need to just share with a wonderful class which you gave, Mataji. Over to you, Prabhu, if any points are there.
Hare Krishna. So thank you, Vijayata Mataji. So nice explanation. And a small translation, small purport you have elaborated for 30 minutes. That shows
Prabhuji,
your
actually, Srila Prabhupada who has elaborated, Prabhuji. For so many, 45 minutes he had elaborated the same thing. I have shortened it.
Yeah. Very nice. We don't want to give credit, but we want to give credit for you. So it is explained that Parikshit Maharaj's flag is a lion, and you have explained that the flag and the lion is not just a lion; it is none other than Narsimhadev. So I like to add a few more points here. The lion is also king of all the animals, and Narsimhadev is also king of all the demigods. So Parikshit Maharaj is carrying Sakshat Narsimhadev, and there is no defeat at all for him, and it has been proved like that. And my understanding is that when Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada says that you go and preach boldly, and whoever sacrifices and whoever simply uh, goes in and around the states and the towns and cities and villages, when they are ready to preach, all these so infantry soldiers, cavalry, infantry, charioteers, they are all also following us. Those who endeavored for preaching, and we may not be seeing, but invisibly they are support for all the preachers. Krishna himself says that in 1869 he says he is very dear to me who preaches my glories. In this way, Parikshit Maharaj has got a legacy, and he is exactly representing his father, his grandfather, and everybody. So, moving forward, we will have a lot of other rasas we are going to enjoy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.